Hello people, it's I don't know, what is it, just after midday, 12:30ish. Up on my veranda it's 39.6 up in the shade. I'm down standing in the paddock just to show you a little experiment, which is what I'm good for. Don't know if you can see that very well, but it's saying 40 degrees. It's a what do you call it, meat thermometer. So it's hovering between 39 and 40. So the purpose of this is to show you the difference between bare ground, which is here. This is the top of my swale, which not much has grown on. I'm going to stick this thermometer in about an inch. Okay, give it a minute. It doesn't even take a minute. Let's see if we can see this. So it's gone from 40 to 50 within 15 seconds or so. Okay, looks like it's about stopped at 53, 54. No, we're getting up to 55. Yep, it looks like it's hovering around 55, which was what it was when I tested it a few minutes ago. So that's roughly an inch in underneath the ground, and this is just bare soil. Hasn't had water or anything for weeks since the last rain. That's how bare it is, just on the top of the swale. Now I'll take it out, and over this side of the paddock it hasn't been watered. It's only had rain on it. So I'll find a little, this has got fairly good coverage considering we haven't had very much rain. Now here's some grass. Stick it in here. Okay, I think it's roughly about an inch in. We'll see what it gets to here. So it's hovering between 45, 46 degrees. So even with this tiny little bit of grass coverage and a little bit of like mulch left on the ground from the last slashing, it's keeping it 10 degrees cooler than the bare ground. So yeah, hovering between 45, 46. Like I said, about 10 degrees difference, and that's just in that little patch. No rain been on this patch of ground for a few weeks at least. Now over this side I have been watering. You can see it's nice and green. But this is where I've been doing my seed experiments. That big tall patch of grass there is some Rhodes grass, and it's just about coming to seed. So this patch hasn't been watered for about 4 days. But as you can see, it's got quite thick, dense grass. I'll stick the thermometer in. It looks like it's in deeper, it's just because the grass is so thick. And we'll see what it comes down to. Roughly 35, 36 degrees. So I know everyone doesn't have green grass like this. Like I said, it's just an experiment to show you the difference between bare ground and some coverage on your ground and green grass on your ground. 20 degrees difference between this and the bare ground over there. So even imagine if you're a horse or an animal, how much cooler it would be for them to walk around in a paddock that has some green grass coverage, which is pretty hard, I know, with the dry spell we've been having. But there you go. Bare ground 55 degrees today out in the sun, and it's roughly 39-40 degrees air temp in the shade. What was it, 45 degrees over in the ground that hasn't been watered since the last rain, where I've got a little bit of ground cover, and 35 degrees over here where it's been getting watered, but it hasn't been watered for, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. There you go, that's today's experiment.